off. Just me fucking off. And anyway, all right, there we go. I
Uh,
think we just went live.
oh, hello. We're back.
Hello, the same people there, or can you tell?
You can't tell who's watching. You can just say tell the number of who's watching.
No, no, that's why. I guess that's what I'm asking. Is good. So we went back, and the same people are still there, or they're gone?
Looks like they're there.
Oh, okay, okay, interesting. Or what were we talking about? Was it cat burning?
I don't want to
Oh,
talk
I
about
saw a
cat
thing.
burning.
I saw a thing on YouTube the other day where I think it's is it ethanol? Is it ethyl?
Fentanyl.
No, no, ethanol. This is
Oh,
most 90% of European towns were upset or addicted to ethanol for a while.
are you sure it was ethanol and not fentanyl?
No, no, this is a long time ago. This is way
Oh,
back when. Yeah.
oh.
Let me see here. I'm trying to look it up, but it's ah, addictive. Oh yeah, it's a strong alcohol, and that's it. Ethanol. So uh, it makes a strong drink, but there was a time period between I think like 17 and 1800s where there were villages that 90% of the people were on that shit constantly. So
Just
like the fentanyl,
24/7?
it was just a strong, what's that?
So like t just 24/7, like on this drug.
Yeah. It's a drug that when they make it, it makes a strong booze drink and you can sniff it or you can drink it. But they mix it with a sulfate, so it stinks. So people who do it, it comes through your pores. So they said that you could come into towns and even the churches stunk. So
Ah,
everybody, the whole place stunk, and that's how you knew that everybody was on it. And
weird.
because they had prohibition in a lot of those areas and the temperance movements and all that, or the
Yeah.
temperance movement specifically, and it limited alcohol, so that was kind of a way to get around it. Yeah. So especially portions of Ireland and what was it like the Netherlands? But Ireland had a really bad addiction to it. It was easy to make, cheap, but they ended up passing laws. We don't have it anymore. It's not very common. United States got a little bit in early history.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and now we're just in like a fentanyl epidemic, it seems. That's like,
The fentanyl one, I don't know yet. I haven't figured that one out. I wonder if that one's. Remember, it was like '80s where there were crack babies and all that nonsense. But then a lot of that ended up being a lot of hype. That's why they passed those really restrictive laws. If you got caught with any amount of cocaine, or sorry, not cocaine, you got caught with any amount of crack, you got 5 years automatically.
yeah,
Biden was part of that, and I mean, that's not a political statement. It's just he just was. But
yeah.
he was one of the people that testified on the floor of Congress talking about it. But
That's
yeah,
kind
so
of ironic because
mhm.
of his son.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
His
Mm.
son was like addicted to crack.
I did see the video where he's weighing it and arguing with a woman in the background. That's a bit of a that's a fun video. But
I haven't seen that one.
oh no, oh it's shit. It's been a while since I saw it, but yeah, he's not necessarily what you'd expect. But I don't know but I wonder if the fentanyl thing is touted up a bit. Like when you see videos from say California where they have a whole street lined with people and they're acting weird and they're saying they're
Yeah.
on fentanyl, but most of those people are homeless anyway. So even if they weren't on that, they might be on another drug. And if they weren't on that other drug, they're still fucking homeless and they're uh, homeless people in certain cities. I haven't been to LA or California to see this up close, but I know parts of, say, Atlanta and then parts of Chicago, parts of Minnesota. The homeless are different qualities. And some of the homeless, it wouldn't matter if they were on drugs or not. Those videos are easy to be had. You can take those. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that, like when they film a bunch of homeless people, a line of homeless people in California, are they all really all on fentanyl? Or are they just homeless and they're acting funny? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's hard to know for sure, but I mean I'm sure everything in the media gets touted up. So
Yeah.
that's not just a fentanyl thing, that's just a media thing. Everything
Yeah.
in the media gets like sensationalized and exaggerated because it's a
Well,
business and they're trying to sell stories.
yeah.
So
Well, like so the George Orwell, I think it was Down and Out in Paris and London, where he pretended to be a tramp for a long time, a couple years, and he ran around pretending to be a tramp, and kind of running in those circles. He kept track of how he made money, and the way they made money is the tramps would. I only keep saying that because he used that word, and he didn't use homeless because that wasn't a term back. It was tramp. You get your rail guys, guys riding the rails and all that stuff. And
So that
tramps
was
are
the
supposed to be fun.
actual term that was acceptable back then.
Well, that I don't know if they liked it, but I know that the English called them that. Mm,
Jeez.
mm. So the so he kept track of it. The way they made money, or one of the ways, was they would find old cigarette butts, and they would take the tobacco out of them, like a rolled cigarette, like the butt of it, and they would take the tobacco out, and they get a bunch of that together and then sell that tobacco. And that was how they kind of make money to buy a little bit of bread, or like normally a couple day old bread, and then put some butter on it. Buttered bread was really popular because they didn't have much money, if any. And he was going through the pennies that he was making, and he kept asking the question, how would I, if I were a drunk, how would I stay drunk all the time? There's not enough money. I don't have enough money. That's a very exorbitant lifestyle. I guess he was kind of knocking on the idea that, or he's for sure he was knocking on the idea that the trips that time period were drunks. I guess he's saying that that's not true. They're
Well,
just
yeah,
they're just
because like
trained.
how would they obviously they can't be drunk all the time if they don't have enough money to
Yeah.
pay
So
for
that
it.
same thing with the fentanyl. Like I mean, fentanyl, even if it was just a dirt cheap drug, um, you'd still you have to have some source of income to pay for this lifestyle. I mean, I don't know. I would love to be fucked up 24/7 on some crazy. I'm exaggerating, but I mean, I can't afford that. Like people spend all year saving up their everything they have so they can go on that vacation for 1 week and just be hammered drunk at the beach where you are. Um,
Hmm.
you're at the beach. So, but you know what I mean? Though, like that's like people spend all year saving up their money so they can afford to do that all for 1 week. I don't know how would a homeless person be able to afford that anyway. But
Well, yeah, I mean, you never know what's in their system when you see homeless people on the street. You never know what their story is. You never know how
Mhm.
they got there. And you never know if they're suffering from an addiction or if they're just really, really malnourished. So
There are
you
probably a lot of those. But Martin Amos, I think the book's called Ordinary People. It's a fiction story, but the one of the characters in there says that homeless people, the reason why they're homeless, the reason why they're different from us is they didn't sell any time. Like I sold a certain amount of my time per month, per week, so that I can work and make money and pay my bills and do things. They didn't sell any of their time. So they have an abundance of time, but no revenue. And that's why they seem different. That's why if you see them, it's a kind of a callous way to look at it, but that's why if you see one kind of idle in the street and they're not really doing anything, they're kind of just mulling about in a weird way. That's because they have all this fucking time and nothing to do, no money or anything. And that's the difference between you and I, between you and them.
Mhm.
It's like I say, it's kind of a very disconnected way to look at them, but I don't know. It's interesting.
Have you ever seen that movie with Robin Williams? I think it's called like the Something King, where he
Oh,
plays
the Fisher King.
the Fisher King. Yeah.
Jeff Daniels is in it, right?
Yeah, where he played, or Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges, that's it.
Jeff
That's it.
Bridges and Robin Williams, and he plays this homeless person, the Fisher King. Yeah. And the way he sort of explains his homelessness is interesting. I feel like, there's some people who just like want to live off grid for various reasons.
Is that off grid? Is that the same thing?
Well, he was playing a character who wasn't dealing with like an addiction. He just didn't want to be a part of society.
I mean,
That,
this isn't like Thoreau. I mean, you're not walking into the woods to write a book and build a cabin or live in a cabin, but you're just pretty much just stopping what you're doing and lying down on the street. I mean,
or
it seems the city version of the homeless seems different than the Thoreau guy in the woods, right?
yeah, so like for instance, that movie Into the Wild, or there's a book, it's based on a book, Into the Wild. This was like an actual person who just
That guy.
who
Yeah.
hated society and who could afford, because he had like a supportive family and he could have afforded.
The only book he had was on plants, and he died eating a plant, which
Yeah,
makes it so perfect. The irony there is, yeah, he
yeah.
never read that book, is what that tells me. So I don't know what he was doing. I guess he brought a lot of pot with him or something. I don't know. I
But
saw the movie.
I also think that he was mentally, like he had a
Yeah,
mental disorder. Like
yeah,
I don't know if
definitely.
he was either I think he was schizophrenic actually. So you can
Was
tell
it? Well, makes sense.
some of his later writings show signs of schizophrenia, and which kind of makes sense if you like if you think society is against you and
Mm-hmm.
the solution is just to live in the woods.
He died when he starved to death on a bus. Or
Yeah,
no, he died of
he
plant
ate
poisoning on a bus.
yeah, he ate some sort of poison berries and um I knew this one guy from I either knew this one guy a while ago who basically got in trouble with the law and he was making money waiting tables, but as an experiment, he wanted to see how it felt to be homeless and sleep in a car and like post about it on Facebook. Like
I slept in my car on that for that reason. Same reason. Yeah,
just to see, yeah, but he was posting about it on Facebook, like, okay, this is just sort of like an experiment to see how it feels. If I were to be homeless, like sleeping,
sure.
how would it feel to sleep in a car or something? And then he got like all this flack, like, you're not homeless, you have a home, and yet you're choosing to do this, and you're talking about it on
Yeah.
Facebook like you're doing something important. And I don't know. He
Let's
got,
when Orwell was did Down and Out in Paris and London, and a little bit of Road to Wagon Pier, but the Down and Out in Paris and London, when he's pretending to be a tramp, he talks about that he's a gentleman. He knows he is, that he's kind of hiding out. He's going by his Eric Arthur Blair. He's going by his real name. He doesn't. He knows that at any point he can leave because at one point he does go to Britain and ask a friend who's he has money set aside. He's always got to do is step back into society. It's not an issue, but he's
yeah,
doing it. So he admits that he's not the same thing as them.
yeah,
He says constantly, "I'm not the same. Everything I suffer is my suffering. It's not theirs because theirs is different than
there's
his." And he
definitely different.
acknowledges that. Yeah, that's so. I could see. Yeah, there's a little bit of like vaingloriousness to it if you do it the wrong way. You know what I mean? You can't go and live among poor people and pretend and not acknowledge that you're pretending.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like it's also just kind of a weird thing people do. Like I remember one time I was like going on a hike with this guy who was in the military, and in the military he had to like sleep on the ground sometimes. It's really uncomfortable. And then I was talking about how some people like camping and stuff. And he's like, he's like, that I don't understand, having to have to sleep on the ground outside compared to the comfort of
Mm-hmm.
sleeping with air conditioning without bugs, why would you choose camping? Like, why is that fun? It's just so interesting. Like people who can afford like, comfortable bed with shelter just for fun, they'll
Mm-hmm.
sleep on the ground and that's
Yeah,
fun to them, whereas
gotta
like
rough it a little bit. Yeah. Well,
I,
when you go to I've gone to camp plenty of times, like to put a tent down and you feel kind of all rustic, and then you walk into the if you're at a campsite, and then you walk into the main area where the restrooms are or whatever, and there'll be people that are in RVs. So they just drove their house to a
yeah.
spot and now they're camping. And that seems ridiculous to me. But then if somebody was a pioneer camper, they would think the way I camped was ridiculous because they would go deep into the woods by themselves and they wouldn't have a restroom close by, you
Yeah.
know. So I get that. I don't know, but I get that. But
Yeah. It's just funny to me. I think people just we get bored with our predictable lives and we want
Mhm.
like, let's see how this feels because it's something different. But
I
I
guess
don't
there's nothing wrong with that though, right? You don't want to do the same thing so much that you burrow a sore. have a sore
Well,
develop.
yeah, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying it's interesting. Like, because to us, it's fun to go camping and sleep on the ground.
Mhm.
But to people who don't have a home, they're like, you do this for fun? I do this because I don't have a choice.
No, I
Or,
get you.
it's weird. It's like we want to try on this other lifestyle and imagine what it would be like,
Mhm.
but we still would have no idea unless we're in their situation, unless
Oh,
we've, you know.
maybe it's akin to when I hear people talk about functional workouts where they're exercising and they're calling them functional. You're doing things, squatting and bending and all these, and they're talking about it as if they've discovered something new, but that's just what most people do who labor. I mean, that when they people who do functional workouts don't do any type of manual labor in their job. They're on a keyboard or something like
Yeah.
that. So they've discovered functional workouts, which essentially is pretending to be a laborer for about
Yeah.
30 minutes at the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's maybe the same thing. You know, you pretend to chop wood or I don't
Yeah,
know, you
you're
flip a
not
tire
actually
or whatever.
chopping wood. You're
Yeah,
just like doing the motion of chopping wood with like a workout machine or
yeah,
bands, or weights or
yeah.
whatever,
And you're
so
saying that you've discovered this as being a healthy method, but you can go back and I mean you can go north and find guys that are chopping wood right now.
yeah, and they're
And they're
doing
not
functional
necessarily, yeah, it's
workout.
not part of their routine. It's just how they stay alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway. But you want to do any of these others? You did want to do buggery. We did cat burning. We did handshakes. Do you want to do syphilis?
I mean, I already know, I think I know everything I need to know about syphilis, but I mean,
I don't know that's something you want to say like that. I don't I feel like that's the worst way.
I'm educated.
If you're ever talking to somebody that you just met, you definitely
I
never
know a
want to
lot
use
about
that whole
syphilis.
statement again.
Actually, you know what I found out recently? I take that back because recently I didn't know that eye syphilis was a thing. Have you heard of eye syphilis?
I think that's in here, but yeah,
Yeah, so I didn't know that that was a thing. But I mean, I just know about STDs. I learned about them many, many years ago
I don't. You see, you
through
want to put a story into
education.
it. Yeah, okay, yeah. You want to say that. Maybe say education first, but you definitely, if you just met a person, you definitely don't want to say, I know everything about STDs that I need to know. I've been, from back in the day. I mean, that sounds like, yeah, that sounds like maybe you had a
I
different
didn't learn it the
lifestyle.
hard way. I learned it the educational way, the easy
But
way.
see, that isn't helping you. That isn't
By
digging you out
reading
at
about
all.
it.
But
I
I'm
didn't,
no, I'm by saying I didn't learn it the hard way. Anyway, yeah, don't, yeah.
not through experience, just
You're not
through
digging yourself out very well.
education.
Hmm. I know everything about AIDS. For many years now, I've known about AIDS. Oh, yeah, you can't. Oh, you can't do that. Hey, did you
What
see?
what about syphilis do you want to talk
Oh,
about?
hold on. I'll tell you. I just put the book away. I'm gonna get it back out. This is the
Why did
last
you
one
how did you come up with this topic anyway? Like how did
because
you
I thought these plates were interesting when I was reading this book.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, but and I was thinking about it when we were talking about the other day as far as trying to come up with stuff. I thought that was it would be interesting. Hold on. It's a fun book though. Uh, it's the history of Europe. You could also just call it the history of white people. Um. Anyway, let's see.
We could also pull up some jokes.
Oh, I'll do that. I'm down for that. Okay, it has been linked to the sexual puritanism which took hold on all classes, short of the aristocracy, to the banishment of hitherto popular and licentious bathhouses, to the institution of handshaking in place of public kissing, and from 1570 onwards to the growing fashion of wigs. Syphilis contributed to all that. Syphilis is the reason why we have wigs. It's why people don't kiss and now they shake hands or bow instead of bowing. They're adding to that. And then bathhouses, which bathhouses seem kind of a neat idea. A bunch of people sitting around taking baths all day. That's in that time period. I would think that's a good idea, but whatever.
Hmm. I didn't
Hmm.
know wigs came about.
Well, because people lose their hair when they have syphilis.
Oh.
For real, and so For reasons that are unclear, I'm not going to read that, which causes syphilis assumed a especially virulent form when it reached Europe. It bored into the human genitals, exploiting the scabrous fissures that were common in the unwashed crotches of the day, forming highly contagious chancres. I'm saying that right. Within weeks, it covered the body in suppurating pustules, attacked the central nervous system, and destroyed all hair. It killed within months painfully. Physicians chose to apply mercury to the pustules, unwittingly poisoning their patients. Over 6 or 7 decades, the spiricette created its own resistance and calmed down. So yeah, it took the hair out of people and killed them very quick. But yeah, I guess that's why people wore wigs. I don't know. Can you hear me?
That's a fun fact. So what I'm going to do is
that STD is fun to hear about.
what
Nobody
I'm
ever wants to hear
do-
about the history of herpes. What's that?
I'm going to do, I'm going to ask ChatGPT. I'm going to be like, what are the top 10 jokes of all time? I'm going to ask ChatGPT that right now. And then we
All
can
right.
decide if we love them or hate them.
I'm down.
What are the top 10 jokes of all time? Let's see what ChatGPT says.
Let's have it.
Okay. So here's the one. Number 1, Groucho Marx. I never forget a face, but in your case, I'll be glad to make an exception. Never forget a face, but in your
That's
case,
cute.
I'll be glad to make an exception.
I'll take it. I'll take it. That's a bit snide, but it's Groucho Marx.
So
So
I
it's
wouldn't say, so do you love it? Do you hate it? Or how
fine.
would you?
But it's because of Groucho Marx. I like him. He's very clever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of like, what I like about it is kind of clever, but it's
Mhm.
also, what I don't like about it is it's mean. It's like mean.
Mhm. That's fair. If you're ugly, especially, you don't want to hear that. So
Yeah. So I mean, I like
if
that
you're
it's
if you're
witty,
good looking, then you just take it as a joke. I think that's how it's going to work, right?
I guess, but I also don't think it's like that funny. Like I think it's
It's
like,
old. I mean, it's an old joke. You're talking about Groucho Marx. How old is that? That's black and whites, right? That's way
yeah,
back.
it's just funny. That was the number 1 joke that came
No,
up.
it's yeah. That's I wouldn't think that'd be the number. I thought what's that aristocrats joke? You know that one from the aristocrats? No, but
That's not even on here.
okay.
I don't even see an aristocrats joke.
Oh, it's a joke that comedians are supposedly do, where you just pile on in the joke. It's the joke itself doesn't really have much to it, but it gives you a chance to just pile on for several, however long you want to do it, really, really graphic things. No? Oh. Anyway, go. Okay, so let's hear another one. Because number 1, I still like Groucho Marx.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard of the aristocrats joke. It's not even listed on here. I don't know.
No, the like I say, it's the aristocrats is there's a documentary on it, but it's this scene where so the joke is that you just get to pile on in the joke. Like I say, there's not really a lot to the joke, but the joke is that this guy is interviewing people for like a circus routine or something, like a stage routine, and this family comes in and they interview, and and then you start to just say really graphic things that they're doing to each other and really sexual and gross, and you just keep it going as long as you can. And at the end, the guy says, no, they say at the beginning, this our bit is called the aristocrats. And then at the end, they announce it like that. And the guy says, that's how they say it. Like they say, it's the aristocrats. That's what the show's called. Because the guy says, what the fuck is that supposed to be? And he says, the aristocrats. It's no, I
I don't
didn't do that very
understand,
well.
how is that supposed to be funny? Like, what's funny about that?
Because it lets you it lets you bang on for a long time about something that's graphic and pointless, and the person has to hear it, and it doesn't end up being any point. Does that make sense?
So it's just pointless.
No. So I'll tell you a joke that's the same way that I saw Norm Macdonald do a joke online, and it's funny. But
I
it's
love Norm Macdonald.
okay. Do you know the moth joke?
Oh, the moth joke. Yes.
Same thing. You see
Okay.
how he just piles on about,
Yeah.
I'm sad, I'm depressed. It's just it lets him do that for a long time for no reason. That's what
Uh-huh.
the joke's supposed to be. That type of thing.
Got it.
Um,
Okay.
um,
Interesting. So what would you rate this one, the number one, on a scale of 1 to 5? One being not funny, 5 being really funny.
I don't know. I mean, is it the history, like the fact that the joke lasted that long? Does that add to it, or
Just
is it?
on the funny. Is it one being not funny, 5 being really funny to you? So
No, I get you. I mean, no. So we're rating it just. How does
just
it make you feel now? It has nothing to do with the history of it, how
yeah,
long it is.
yeah.
Okay, if it no, then it's not really. You get a chuckle, maybe a 1 or 2, and I
Yeah.
hate that, but yeah. But if you say that the joke has existed for 100 years, then maybe it gives it some credence. I don't know, but
Not really, because that's
okay.
okay. So you would rate that one like a 1 or 2. Okay, so here's
Yeah, and I really feel like a dick saying that too, because I don't think I should. I feel like Groucho Marx deserves better, but okay.
okay, so here's the next one by Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, he's good.
I'm against picketing, but I don't know how to show it.
That's a funny joke. He's a one-liner comic.
Yeah, because it's like if you're against something, how do you show it if you're against picketing? Yeah. I feel
Do
like
you know the?
that one's a little funnier and it's not like mean-spirited. It's just sort of picking apart at the,
Yeah, that's Mitch Hedberg. He was big into heroin. But I think he ended up dying that way. But he
oh,
amazing one-liner. Do you know the joke? Uh, coconut soap is really good for everything except for getting coconut off your hands.
no.
Because I
But
mean, you never know if it's actually off.
yeah.
That's the joke. That's a one-liner joke. That's Demetrius Martin. But yeah, you like Mitch Hedberg though. You know him.
I don't know him, but
Well, you don't know you don't never seen his bits or anything, his routine.
I don't think so.
Oh, he's good. He wasn't around for very long. He's trying to think of some of his good jokes. Rice is only good if you want a whole lot of something at once. I don't know, but yeah, he's funny. He's a one-liner comic. I like that joke. I give that joke a 7 out of what are
Okay.
we 1 to 10 or we 1 to 5? What are we doing?
We can do 1 to 10. That's fine. So you
All
give it
right.
a 7. Yeah,
Mhm.
I give it about a 7, 6 or 7. Okay.
Let's hear it.
The third of out of the top 10 jokes of all time by Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, he's good.
I told my wife the truth. I told her I was seeing a psychiatrist. Then she told me the truth that she was seeing a psychiatrist, 2 plumbers, and a bartender.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
You didn't deliver it very well, but that's fine.
So like well, I'm just reading it. Like this is
No,
the
I'm just
first time
kidding.
I've
I'm just
heard it. I
kidding.
haven't like
You've seen Rodney Dangerfield is in the delivery, but yeah, I gotcha. Yeah,
well, this is the first time I'm reading this. I'm not like preparing ahead of time.
that's fair. You're
So
at the beach. What do you expect?
he's basically saying, yeah, he's seeing a psychiatrist, as in he's like paying a psychiatrist for professional help, and then his wife is actually like seeing one in a relationship with one, 2 plumbers and a bartender. So that's just sort of a play on words. So I give it
Sure.
like 5.
Really? I like Rodney Dangerfield, but yeah, I'll give you that. It's fine. I'll take that. I'll take that. I
You
think
don't have to
Rodney
rate it
Dangerfield.
the same as I do.
No. I mean, it's funny though. I get a kick out of his. I don't know. He did the one about his wife. He said, "My wife and I we tried to quit smoking, so we'll only smoke after sex. I've had this," or he said, "She's up to 2 packs a day, and I've had the same pack for several years."
Yeah, I think that
Okay.
sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah.
I think Rodney Dangerfield's hilarious, but he's a different type of comedian, that's for sure.
So you give it a 6 too, or would you rank it higher?
Oh, well, I think he said five. Oh, yeah, yeah, sure, take that.
Well, you get to make up your own mind. We don't have to
No,
agree.
I'll take six. I'll take six. I'm good for that. I think
Okay.
the Mitch Hedberg joke's better.
All right, so the fourth one by Stephen Wright. I intend to live forever. So far, so good.
Yeah, that's Stephen Wright. That's his comedy.
I like that one because it's positive. The
Mhm.
others that we're reading are kind of like negative, like this one's like positive. And it's kind of
I
funny
bet.
because what?
I mean, I guess it's positive. I guess I don't know. I guess. Do you know who Stephen Wright is?
I'd have to look them up. I don't
Do you know? You've seen the movie Reservoir Dogs?
know.
Really? That's Quentin Tarantino's breakout movie, right?
I don't love Quentin Tarantino. I don't like violence, so
Oh, well, yeah, yeah. So you
yeah,
wouldn't like Shakespeare
I'm
either.
very selective about the movies I see.
I would think because you do acting that you just
No,
be
I
a
feel like
crazy amount of, you know what I mean?
no,
Or
I'm
I'm
quality.
imagining John Grisham reads a lot of fiction, but I guess he probably doesn't. You know what I
Well,
mean? Yeah.
quality versus quantity. There's a lot of horrible movies out there.
Yes. But don't
There's
you
a
have to
lot of
sift through the
movies that
trash?
I don't think should have ever been made. And I'd rather be spending my time creating and actually like making movies than just sitting and watching them. So
But don't
I'm
you have
just
to
very
sift through it
selective.
though?
What?
Don't you have to sift through it though? Like you have to have seen those like this 20 crappy movies to know that this one good one existed. Because if you
You
just
don't
went to go
have
by
to.
people,
You don't have
no,
to. You don't have to walk into a fire to know it's gonna burn you.
no, but you if you're looking if you enjoy the like movies and the movie making process, it seems like you'd go into movies idealistic, walking into the theater going, this is going to be a great flick. Oh, it was terrible. You know, that kind of thing. I feel like
So
you would
I
be more
know
apt to
that
do that.
Quentin Tarantino directs a lot of like there's a lot of violence in his movies. So for
Sure.
that reason, I don't necessarily jump at the chance to watch every Tarantino film.
But he's supposed to be a master of dialogue, right? Isn't he?
Yes, but he's also known for a lot of violence. So
No,
if
I
I have
get
a choice between one of his movies and a movie that is likely not going to have a lot of violence, I choose that
What
one.
about David Mamet? He's a dialogue guy.
Yeah, I've read more Mammoth plays. Uh,
Do you
so
know his the movie Glenn Ross? You know that
yeah,
one?
yeah.
That's so good. Have you ever watched the Blake monologues?
No, but I'm familiar with the Glenn Glary, Glenn Ross. I mean, that's really good writing right there.
Oh, that movie is it's
But that
so
was actually a play before.
yes. Yeah. It was set up it's the scenes themselves, there isn't a lot to them. I mean, they're like the setup and everything, but it's the quality of the lines that they deliver to one another. The setting itself is irrespective. You could have had them in a field doing those lines. There's
Mhm.
just everything. Yeah, it had nothing to do with the scene itself. Like you could have had them anywhere. They could have
Yeah,
all been in a bar the entire movie talking. It wouldn't have mattered. The lines are so good. Uh,
the writing's really good.
yeah, Mamet. There's a scene where I can't remember the guy's name. Older fella is talking to um, Ed Harris, and they're talking about Robin for the leads, and he keeps saying, "Are we having a conversation? Are we talking about this?"
Yeah.
And I think they're sitting in a car and it's raining, or they're in a bar. I can't remember, but it doesn't matter. It's like the conversation is so real. And
Hmm.
I thought Mamet's really impressive, and his plays are good too. I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like his writing for sure. Okay, so the next one, number
Oh, hey,
five,
I'm getting this off subject. Go ahead.
Henry Hungman.
Henry Hungman.
Don't know who this is. This is his joke. My wife told me to take her somewhere she's never been, so I took her to the kitchen.
Wow,
That
wow.
one I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, it's not good. That's not good. That's
Like,
stupid.
I don't understand what is he trying to say to that? Like, my
He
wife
doesn't go to the
should be in
kitchen.
the kitchen. Well,
Yes,
yeah.
get in
So
there.
that one's
Hmm.
kind of silly. I would rate that one like a 1.
I'm with you on that. I think that's lowbrow humor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so no,
Oh, the
pass.
next one. Now, this is an actual person. I know who it is. I know this person. Well, I know of this person. I've never met him. Jerry
It's
Seinfeld.
NT. Oh, Jerry Seinfeld. Okay.
Um, what's the deal with airline food? It's always something like, how about we heat up a bunch of rubber and serve it to people pretending it's chicken?
Ah, that's not good.
I mean, I like that it's sort of relatable to anyone who's ever been on a plane. Um, I like that it's not like, trying to be really profound or really clever. Um,
Mm,
but
no, pass.
it's not, about we heat up a bunch of rubber and serve it to people pretending it's chicken. I mean, if you've ever been on a plane, you can relate. So I definitely think I think it's kind of funny. I give it like on a
Mm.
scale of 1 to 10, I give it like a 4.
You put a 4 on that? Really? Like a 2. All right.
Okay, so the
Oh
next
shit. Okay, we are on here Zoom. Hey, I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
one.
Just if we're live, and you can watch it on YouTube on the Love It or Hate It YouTube.
Oh, here. I'm on there. I haven't even messed with that account, and I actually have an account with them now, so I guess I should. Oh yeah. I think wearing that headband, it makes me look like I'm plugging for the trans movement. I know it sounds so stupid, but it's still funny.
I don't mind the headband. I think it's fine.
It's my hair's getting long. Hey, I think you can hear the audio.
Yeah, I just muted you because you had something playing in the background. You were like playing what we already said, so I muted you. Um, Anybody watching from your home device, let us know what you think about these jokes. Let us know how you would rate them. Maybe you'd rate them much higher, maybe much lower. That's the interesting thing about comedy is that comedy is subjective and comedy affects everyone differently. So I'm curious to know your thoughts. All right, I'm going to unmute you. You're back. All right, so this next one is by somebody I do know who he is, Woody Allen.
Oh yeah, he
Number
married his
7.
daughter, right?
No, he didn't marry his daughter. What are
Are you
you
sure?
talking about? Yeah, he
Woody
didn't
Allen? Yeah, he married
like
his daughter,
his step, somewhat like something
his
weird, like
stepdaughter.
not like his blood.
No, no, she wasn't related to him, but he
Yeah,
did
yeah.
adopt her as a child and married her. Probably courted her when she was a child. But yeah,
I don't know anything about that, but
I mean, they pretty, they did. They pretty sure they did. Mia Farrow was his wife, and they adopted. Then they had that kid, and
so
he ended
wait,
up
he
leaving her,
adopted
and
her as his child?
no, Mia Farrow was his wife, I thought, and then they had a child, or she had a child. He courted her or dated her while they were together, left her for her. I think they're still together.
Well, I don't know anything about his personal life like that. I don't really keep up with that stuff.
No, I just remember that. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
This is his quote. I don't want to achieve immortality through my work. I want to achieve it through not dying. Hmm.
That's not funny. Wah, wah, wah. No good.
Yeah. I don't want to achieve immortality through my work. Well, I think a lot of filmmakers think that like by making a movie, it's almost like they're achieving immortality if that movie is still watched and talked about. And if that movie's still impacting lives after they're gone, that's sort of like their way of creating this lasting impact. That's how some filmmakers think. Okay, through filmmaking, I'm going to achieve immortality. So he's just saying, like, that's kind of silly. Immortality just means not dying. So, in that sense, it's like, it's kind of funny because it's kind of but it's also a little on the negative side. A lot of these jokes are kind of negative,
They're
so
dark. They're all dark.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, I give that one like a 3. Three,
Yeah, I
four,
give it a 1.
a 1.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not funny. It's just stupid. Yeah.
Well, I'll
But
have to
again, yeah. I mean,
I'll
your
have,
immortality is it is the story they tell about you. So, and that's supposed to be the point. But anyway, doesn't matter.
I think he's just saying like I think what he's trying to say here is perhaps filmmakers are coveting their films and making it seem like their films are more important than they actually are. To equate a film with achieving immortality is sort of a stretch. I think that's where he's getting at. So he's just kind of like, I don't even I want to achieve immortality by not dying,
Oh
like
no, I get you. I get you. I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't think it's funny.
yeah,
Which
it's not that
so
funny.
far out of all the jokes, which is the funniest? Not your rating system. Just which one do you remember still that
Um,
is funny?
I don't know. We only have 3 more. So
What's your
the eighth one, Milton Burley, Berle,
Burrow? Milton Burrow.
Milton Berle. Okay. I don't know who
Mhm.
that is. You probably do. A community is a group that keeps minutes and loses hours.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, a committee. A committee is a group that keeps
I thought
minutes.
you said committee. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Anyway. Yeah, it's funny. That's funny.
I think that's funny because it's just making fun of like how committees can become this like overly complicated thing where there's like a lot of talking and no action.
Cancels itself out, so to speak.
Yeah.
What's
So
that? There's a saying, he who loves meetings should never be in charge of anything.
I love that quote. Oh my gosh. No, I really do. I
No,
can't
I'm with you
believe-
because the meetings are normally Elon Musk. There was one of his standards, or they always have those stupid lists of what successful people do, or whatever. But is that in his meetings or any meeting that they have, you're allowed to leave anytime you want.
I
If you
love
don't think it's useful, you just leave. And I think that's
I
fair too. Yeah, yeah.
I
You need
love
to be
that.
able to
I cannot
captivate.
tell you how many meetings when I work corporate jobs, and I still do like corporate fitness classes, and we have to
Mhm.
do these meetings that go on and on and on and on. And what they do is they take like 20 minutes to describe something you could explain within 2 sentences. Like they're just excessively long and they just go on and on. And I'm like,
Mhm.
this could have been summed up and condensed into a sentence or two through an email. These meetings
Huh.
are a waste of time. Um,
If you were going to have I think if you're going to have a meeting, I would think if you're having a meeting with staff, it's different, but that's not a meeting. That's you telling them how it is because they work for you. But if you're having a meeting with your people who run stuff, then I would think that you would tell them bullet points or tell them the information ahead of time and then have them present it to you. If
yeah,
they're if
make
you're
sure they
speaking with,
understand the information.
well,
Yeah,
to see how they would you want them to organically do it their way, but
yeah.
do they understand it? Yeah. But if you're talking to people who just work for you and they're doing a task, then you just tell them to do the task. You wouldn't even probably need a meeting, but I don't
Well,
know.
for me, it's like as a fitness instructor, I don't need to have an hour-long meeting to talk about like what I'm gonna do. Okay. I need to know the time, the place, the type of class, and I'll show up and teach the class. I don't need an hour
Makes sense.
long, but also I've dealt with a lot of like long production meetings. Like I I tried to make this short film with this person, and instead of just like there's very simple steps in making a movie. There's the writing, the pre-production, you come up with a shot list, you hire the people, you film it, and then in post-production, it's very simple.
Mhm.
Um, you just need somebody to polish the sound and to edit it. The colorist, various types of editors
The
work together.
colorist, say that again.
The colorist is somebody who does the color correction. And
What do you mean?
the colors, like the actual like colors of the film, the visual quality of the film, you
So they're
go,
going frame for frame and making sure that like your shirt is blue.
Well, not just that, but like making the colors all blend together in a certain way. Like if there's a certain theme, like have you ever watched a film, like a comedy, for instance, usually has brighter colors, whereas like a drama, it's usually a little darker.
But you already filmed it. Does the colorist go back and change the colors?
They can, or they can just make sure there's like a basic color grade. So for instance, like when you're filming, you can only control the elements so much. Like if you're outside and then the sun's over here in one shot and the sun's over here in the other shot,
Mm-hmm.
colorists can go in and help like even those things out. There's all the different anyway, the point is it's like as a producer, um, in post-production, like I would like ask this guy a very simple question, and instead of just answering the question, he would be like, let's have a meeting. And then we'd have to schedule the meeting. And then the meeting would go on and on and on and on. And he would
Mm-hmm.
be talking about all this stuff and not doing anything. So anyway, my point is I like this quote. I feel like it's very relatable to a lot of people who have to
I'll
deal
take that.
with
I'll take that. Yeah, I agree with you. It's Milton Berle too. He's funny. So yeah,
yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
Or I feel like, if you're going to have a meeting, if you have an agenda, like for instance, like I was a part of this comedy collective one time, and these guys used to be like, hey, let's have a meeting, let's talk about making comedy. And I'm like, okay, well, that's very open-ended, open discussion. Maybe we could have some specific like intentions, like to make
Mm-hmm.
sure it's efficient, you know? Um, anyway.
Makes sense.
I like the quote. I like the quote. Okay, so the next one is by one of my favorite comedians ever, Robin
Louis C.K. Who?
Robin Williams.
Really?
I love Robin Williams. Yeah.
Really? Okay. That's your
I love
favorite comedian ever.
one of them. One of
I know
my
he's funny, but I wouldn't think that would be your. I wouldn't think that would be your pick.
he's
Okay, that's
one of
different.
my favorites.
Okay.
I went to a fight the other night and a hockey game broke out.
Okay, that's funny.
That's pretty funny, because it's making fun of hockey and how
Why? Why do
I
hockey? Why do hockey players break out into fights more often than football players? But they do. It's
yeah,
actually a common theme, but football players don't start swapping punches. That's
yeah.
weird. Something about that ice brings it.
Yeah, I don't know. I do like the quote though, because I think like anybody who takes sports so seriously to the point of like violence is just stupid.
But everybody fist fights in hockey. I mean, you get put in the penalty box pretty regular
I
for that.
know, which is ridiculous. Like why? Like why can't you just enjoy playing the game? Why do you have to take it so seriously and try to fight each other?
Yeah, that's fair.
So I
Let's
really
see
like
the
that
other
one. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give that one like an 8.
Well, you like Robin Williams. You're already biased.
That's true.
I'll take 6. We're not keeping track of these, but go ahead.
Yeah.
6.
Okay, this is the last one, according to ChatGPT.
Thank God. No, I'm just kidding.
George Carlin, the planet is fine. The people are, and then in parentheses, it says expletive.
People are fucked.
I guess. I don't know. This is ChatGPT, so ChatGPT can only say certain words, but it says
Mhm.
the planet is fine. The people are expletive.
Fucked.
I guess is that the quote? Do you know the quote?
No, it sounds right. That sounds right. Hold on. What is it? The planet is fine. The people are fucked.
I don't know.
Is
I've
that
never,
what you're saying?
it just says expletive.
Hold on. I'm just typing it in to Google. Yeah, that's it. George Carlin.
Huh.
Is that George Carlin? Is that who you were quoted?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
that's
that's
the
it.
number 10
Yeah, that's
one.
it. The planet is fine. The people are fucked. Yeah. It's one big club and you ain't in it.
I don't
I know that's one
understand
of
though. Like
he's
what?
talking about like the environmental movement and all that stuff. That
Yeah.
if the planet's fine, we're all fucked. Yeah. So if anything bad happened, I mean that's what I get from it. If anything bad happened, it'll be on us. It won't be on the Earth. The Earth will make it.
You think so?
Mhm. Oh, humans can't. Yeah, we can't. We can't affect the Earth. If we set off every nuclear bomb that we have, it would just kill us. It wouldn't hurt the Earth at all. Earth would be fine.
You think so?
Yes, guaranteed. Guaranteed. You can look at the way that it reacts. It wouldn't matter. It'll be fine. The Earth will bounce back just fine.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be fine. Earth will be fine. Earth will still be here. You couldn't
Well,
hurt the Earth.
I like the quote, but I don't know if it's if it's like funny.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. All right, I'll give it a 4. How about that?
On a scale of 1 to 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
His
guess
jokes are way. We're on almost the next to last one.
this
I
is the
can't believe the
last one.
Marx. I can't believe the Marx joke's better than that one.
Yeah, it's so weird. Again, this is what ChatGPT came up with. All I said was, "Hey, ChatGPT, what are the top 10 jokes of all time?"
I can think of better joke. I did. Chuck Norris lost his virginity before his father. That's a funnier joke. No, it's funny. Chuck Norris was great. I love Chuck Norris jokes. Anyway.
I forgot about Chuck Norris.
Oh, those are so good. I was watching one of his action movies from the early 80s the other day. They're so good. They're so cheesy. But yeah, he just kicks the shit out of people. Chuck Norris is awesome.
Yeah. I
I have
like
a beard, so I have to take that.
Yeah, how come people don't really talk about it much anymore though?
Oh, he's
He was-
old. He's got
yeah,
to be 80. How old is Chuck Norris? He's got to be like 80 something now, right?
yeah.
How old do you think Chuck Norris is? You want to guess?
I can ask
No,
ChatGPT.
I mean I was just going to ask my same way.
He's probably
Um,
about 80.
77 is my guess. He's
Yeah,
84 years old.
before. Wow.
Oh, Chuck Norris is going to die soon. Clint Eastwood is 94. Clint Eastwood is 94. Sylvester Stallone is 78.
So
Wow.
crazy to me how the top 10 jokes of all time aren't really that funny.
No, ChatGPT sucks. Let's just get that out of the way.
I think this experiment just shows the limitations of ChatGPT.
I agree.
ChatGPT will never replace like real humans.
Okay, I can tell you a joke. It was the guy who died in the beer factory, and he drowned in a vat of beer. And they called home to his wife to tell her, and she said, "Did he suffer?" And they said, "Well, no, he got out twice to piss."
Say that again.
The guy who worked in a beer factory, and he died. He drowned in a vat of beer, and they called home to his wife to tell him that he died. And she said, "Did he suffer?" And they said, "No, he got out twice to piss."
So like I mean I get the joke because like when you're drunk you don't care about anything, everything's great. Your biggest problem is where am I gonna pee if you're drunk kind of thing. But I don't like the joke. I get it, but I don't really like
You
it.
don't like the joke?
Well, I
Oh,
don't like
okay. I got
I
one.
don't
I
like
got one.
alcohol. I don't like
Oh,
I
alcohol's
don't
my
like how
favorite.
society glorifies alcohol as this really fun thing when it's poison. Like
It,
it's
it does, but it does keep the population going really well. I mean,
no,
that's why we have more children. You need alcohol to loosen people up to
oh
get
my
them.
gosh.
Okay, I got a joke for you. Ready? I got one for you. So this lady, she has had bad experiences with men, and so she puts an ad out, and it says, "I'd like a guy that won't beat me, punch me around, and also won't leave me. I want him to stay around, and also is good in bed." She wants all three. She wants the trifecta. Anyway, tons of people show up interviewing. None of them pass. One day the doorbell rings. She opens the door, and there's this paraplegic, and he's lying on the doorstep. Call him Matt. They're like, and he says, "Can I help you?" And he says, "He has no arms and no legs." And he says, I'm here for the ad. And she's, well, okay, that's a little weird. Let's hear it. And he goes, well, I don't have any arms, so I'm not going to punch you. I'm not going to punch you around. She said, okay. You get on that. And he says, well, I don't have any legs. I'm not going to go anywhere. Staying right here. I'm staying here. And she's good for that. And then she says, well, okay, yeah, but what about the sex thing? And he says, well, how do you think I rang the doorbell?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so that's a good joke, right? Okay.
I mean, that's pretty funny.
Okay. Yeah, that's the limit. I don't think I should tell anymore. That's it. That's the limit of it. But that's a good joke.
I think that's pretty funny though, and it's making fun of like it's making fun of like women who
Paraplegics, makes fun of them.
it does kind of make fun of them, but it also like it doesn't make fun of them in like a mean way. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
paraplegics can still like operate, like they can still like do the deed.
No, that's fair. But no, I mean, if you're watching your friend hammer a nail and they hit their finger with the hammer, they don't cut their whole finger off or their arm off, but you still laugh at them. So that's because that's funny watching them fuck up like that. So it stands to reason if somebody was missing all four that would be hilarious. None of that's true, but it's still funny.
So I don't think it's funny watching
No,
somebody hurt
it's
themselves.
probably not, but I'm just
I
saying
don't
that
think
you
that's funny at
rationalize
all. What are you talking about?
Anyway.
Well, that's the thing, though. One of the reasons I wanted to do this, like, let's read a joke and let's decide if we love it or hate it, just because comedy is so subjective, and comedy is really hard to navigate right now. I'm part of a comedy collective. We put on shows. We do film sketches, and then I often write my own stuff, perform my own comedy material. So it's just comedy is very hard to navigate. I think without offending. So I feel like the only way to navigate comedy is just to not worry about offending people, because someone's going to find a reason to find you offensive.
That makes sense.
That's not just for comedy. That's, I think, any artist, any storyteller of sorts, feel like people are so primed to be offended. But
I agree. I think people have kind of mistaken offense for entertainment in that regard. They go to a place where people would normally have been entertained and they take offense, or they go there with that purpose, and that kind of screws it up. It'd be better if you kind of lightened up when you walked in the room. That's why they serve alcohol at the clubs, so to speak, to kind of ease you up a little bit, because you're getting ready to try some stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But going back to the alcohol thing, the reason I don't so alcohol is literally poison. It's literally toxic. You're literally consuming poison. And it's sad to me how it's become so socially acceptable. And a lot of people don't know how to relax without poisoning themselves. A lot of people don't know how to have fun without poisoning themselves. And it's just sad to me, because I know how to have fun. I have more fun. Like I have had alcohol in my life, but I can honestly say, like, the times where I've experienced the most joy and the most fun are the times that I've always been sober and I can remember it clearly. And it was like pure joy. It wasn't like fake joy from having poisoned and killing your brain cells. So you think that you're like feeling joy, but really your brain cells are just dying. So you're so dumb.
Alcohol is known for lowering your inhibitions, and it's more known for that than other drugs, just because alcohol is a little more of a social drug in our country. But if it lowers your inhibitions, or if somebody gives that as a reason, that essentially means that the person's having trouble with their social skills.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're kind of admitting of a crutch.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
They're sort of admitting like, oh, I feel so inhibited unless I poison myself. But like,
I need to loosen up.
Yeah.
But I totally get that. But if I ran into a lady at a bar and she was saying that same argument, she was giving me that argument, hey, I need to drink because I need to loosen up so I can have some fun, I would support her. I would give her the drink. I'd be like, yes, you do that.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're trying to get laid,
you do you.
But like,
let's have a couple extra.
But wouldn't it be more meaningful if she chose to have sex with you, being fully aware and fully present in the moment?
You can find that out in the morning.
Wouldn't that be more meaningful?
If that's
Knowing,
true, then you
wouldn't it be
would
more
have sex in the
meaningful though
morning.
that she like she had all of her wits about her and she still chose to have sex with
But that's
you?
what I'm saying is that you would find that out in the morning. So the morning when you sober up and you're cooking breakfast for each other and you're both smoking Marlboros in bed, then that's when you decide that it's okay to do it again sober. Because you're not drunk at that point, you're both hungover, but you
So,
still do it.
so to
That's
me,
love.
that's what's wrong. That's like one of the worst symptoms of our society that demonstrate how sick our society is. It's like people are so afraid of being vulnerable that they have to drink in order to like have intimacy, or they have to drink in order to
That
let
may be
their guard
true. If it's used as a crutch, then it's an issue.
down.
I think for sure. But that's true for anything though, right? Any drug, anything,
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It's just there's so,
Unless it's an actual crutch, then you're okay to use it
yeah.
if you need the crutch. Yeah. If you
Well,
don't have the one leg or you're missing all four limbs because you're Matt, then yeah, wouldn't work.
I work, a lot of my yoga students come to yoga for stress relief because their lives are really stressful and they want to learn like
You give them booze?
ways. What?
You give them booze?
No, I give them like breathing techniques to release stress and calm their nervous system. So they know how to like calm their nervous systems so they can be relaxed and in a playful state of mind in their
I've
social.
never seen a bar go out of business because a breathing technique place open next door.
So that's my goal. That's one of my goals as a yoga teacher. I want to set up a yoga studio right by a bar and I want to say, okay, instead of the drink, come meet me and for 5 minutes I'll guide you through some breath work. And if you don't feel better than the drink, then you can get your money back.
I feel like you're either going to have a lot of drunks in there looking at women in yoga pants, or you're going to have yoga ladies that are going to do yoga and then go to the bar afterwards. I don't know if you're going to run them out of business. I feel like you're just going to, if anything, help the business in a
No.
weird way. Yeah.
I just want to teach people natural, healthy ways of
Why
releasing
wouldn't booze be?
stress.
Isn't alcohol natural?
Well, healthy. Forget the term natural, because natural
Don't use
things
the word
can also be unhealthy. But I mean healthy.
natural.
Healthy ways.
Rape is natural, technically, according to nature.
Not
Because I've never
natural.
seen any animal.
Rape
No,
is
I've
the
never
most
seen any animal. No animal consents. They don't look. Have you ever seen a dog fucking? No, they don't. They don't consent. It's yeah. So
right,
that's
but it's not natural. It's not natural. It's a lot
not
more
for humans.
natural. Consensual mating is more
But
natural.
consensual, but the consensual is just us. That's what I say. So technically,
Yeah.
among animals, it would be natural. Rape would be natural, but because we're humans, we have thing called consensual, right?
Yeah, that's true. But we are animals. We're just, our brains are different, but we're still
We're
animals.
nothing but mammals. So let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Yeah, that's it.
So what you're talking about right now is like a concept of this short comedy story. I think I shared it with you. Called it
All
was
the animals having sex with each other. Yep.
but it's basically like that idea of how like we're actually not that different from animals, but we think that we're like higher evolved. We think that we have this higher consciousness. But
We're no
yeah,
different.
I guess I see your point. So yeah, not everything natural is necessarily healthy. There's natural sources of arsenic and poison, and that doesn't mean
Arsenic is natural.
yeah.
I don't
and
think
that
that's a
doesn't mean
man-made chemical. I don't think that's a man-made thing.
right. So that
Yeah.
doesn't mean a lot of times people hear the term natural and they're like, oh, if it's natural, it's healthy. But that doesn't just because something's natural doesn't mean it's healthy. So
That's fair. I'll take that. We might be at our end.
okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, if you've been watching our podcast, I'm curious how you would rate these jokes. So let me know how you would rate them 1 to 10. And yeah, let us know what you think about the topics we covered today. We
There we
covered
go.
weird topics. We talked about syphilis and
Your understanding of STDs for many years now.
We talked
your-
about-
your prolonged experience.
Wait, did we ever
Anyway.
talk about cat burning?
What's that?
Cat burning? You never covered cat burning.
I think I should go. I think my dogs let me know there's somebody. Let me
Oh,
hop
okay.
off here.
Okay.